Greetings, ladies, bros, and non-binary those. I am your host for today. We will be on this episode of Movies I'd Love to Fix. Do not worry, I will not be doing this the entire episode, but I will try just for this intro, which will sound like Optimus Prime. I know it's bad, no need to mention it, but on this episode it's key as we will be covering Transformers Age of Extinction. Notice the shift, as in this version there is a character who wasn't in it. Well, he was in it at the halfway point and then on, but he didn't come in at the beginning because, well, he died. That doesn't narrow the field, but it should. Anyway, let us get into it right now in 3, 2, 1. So, excuse me on that one. So, starting off, I'm gonna give you a heads up, man. I'm gonna be redoing Transformers Age of Extinction, and we won't just be redoing the movie as it was. We will be revisiting the movie and how it can be fixed, going off Transformers Dark of the Moon's original ending. You can see bits of that original ending in the finished film. As when Sam shows up, he looks up towards Optimus Prime, but he's not looking at Optimus, he's looking at something next to Optimus, and when the camera pans back, there's Optimus on the on the right side of the screen, but there's a lot of negative space there. That's because originally that negative space was supposed to be filled by Megatron. The ending where Megatron goes, "Oh, all I want is to be back in charge," propose a truce. That original was supposed to be like Optimus Prime was supposed to be like, "All right, truce it is, man." Megatron would be like, "I've had it with being a destroyer. I'm gonna try creating for a change. We're gonna have a truce. A truce is what we need right now. After all that's happened, we need a truce right now, dude. And they would have done it, and Sam would have shown up and been like, "What the Megatron and Prime side by side? They buddies now? What is this going?" And that would have been an interesting thing to go from. But it changed due to the script getting leaked, so they had to come up with a new ending where Optimus just kills Megatron and whatever. So we're going to be going off the original ending for Transformers 4. Now that's been established in this new timeline of Transformers, the Autobots and the Decepticons, they tight now. They are now allies. As if you remember in Transformers 4, the main threat, the threat wasn't Decepticons. There was like one main bad guy, one Transformer bad guy, and he wasn't a Decepticon. He was just a Transformer on a mission to get Optimus Prime. He was a Transformer bounty hunter, basically. So yeah, that is what will be going on from this point. Yeah. So now, so instead, some things will have to change. If Megatron survived, okay, in the original movie, it went like this: Megatron is dead. And the KSI company is using his dismembered head to, get information on how to assemble robots, build their own transformers, and they use what they learned from his head to make Galvatron. Galvatron is Megatron reincarnated, and and he corrupts the robots to basically create his very own personal army of brand spanking new Decepticon 2.0s. And, it ends in a big fight. Optimus gets the dinobots. They kick all the ass. The bounty hunter gets taken down. And that's that. The movie ends with Prime flying off into space because apparently he can fly now to go meet his creators, who are the ones who sent the alien bounty hunter to him. So, there's a lot of that story that works and some of it that doesn't. Because in this new timeline, if Megatron's still alive and he's working with Prime, then he can't be the Galvatron head. So, yeah. We'll dive into that later. So here's this. So the story kicks off as it did in the film. Kate Yeager, dude, an inventor living on the farm. But this time around, Kate Yeager is a good inventor. He doesn't make little crap inventions that it'll get the beer and then it'll go halfway and shut down. He doesn't make pieces of junk. He makes actual inventions that work. It's just that he's a small time inventor, he doesn't have the necessary finance to make the bigger things that can bring in big money and actually make significant change. But he has that desire to invent, to discover new things, to incorporate things. Like, we'll keep, I mean, the original choice to play Cade for this movie was The Rock, so I don't see him working in that mold, so I guess we'll stick with Mark Wahlberg, and yeah, we'll stick with him as the inventor. The story that the movie's working on is just fine in that point. He discovers this truck, he brings it back to the house, starts working on it, discovers this is not a truck at all. I think we just found a transformer. It's Optimus Prime. And after he brings him back alive, he tells him straight up, like, we were attacked. Like the humans, the Transformers response force or whatever, they showed up and they started killing us wholesale out of nowhere, man. Like, we've lost so many good Autobots. We actually see, like, this thing in the movie in Age of Extinction. We actually see, like, the Medic Ratchet being hunted down by this force and destroyed. So, like, yeah, the Transformers, like, response force is just killing them wholesale. It is not doing the stupid decision that they had in last night, where they revealed they killed Autobots, but they locked up Decepticons. That is dumb. That is beyond dumb, okay? So they are not doing that. They're killing everybody. Autobots and Decepticons are the same as of now. Because seeing Prime and Megatron standing side by side, that's how they see it. These two are working together, then these two are the same. They both gotta go. And so they're killing them wholesale. It's like, what happened in Chicago can never happen again. In order to do that, we need to get them all gone. They all need to go, because a lot of this, though this was not 100% Optimus's fault, this was not 100% fault of the Autobots, they did play a part in it. And kind of like in Man of Steel, it's like, the courts, whatever, they need to hold somebody responsible for all this. So yeah, that's what this force has been established for. They're gonna take on, they've been established to essentially kill all Transformers. And KSI, the company run by Stanley Tucci's character, is forming their own, Transformers, so they can better help the TRF to take on the Autobots and Decepticons, and also so that the humans can defend themselves and don't have to rely on Autobots to fight their battles for them. That's the setup here. So Prime tells Kate, like, man, we were attacked. They killed everybody. I got shot up real bad. That's why I'm, like, this rusty ass truck. I had to, like, change my form in this rusty truck, but I still got pretty banged up, And Cade patches him up because he's an actual good inventor now. It's not just, these clinky inventions and pieces of junk, and he just talks about how good of an inventor he is. He uses what he has on hand and what he knows to, like, help repair Prime. Same movie plays out pretty much the same. And like, the TRF shows up. They're like, man, we're gonna ask you this once. Where's Prime? We know he's out here somewhere, like, we traced him to this location, well, to, like, this state, and your pal called us in. Keep that. They showed up and like, oh no, they said that they just bring money or whatever. It's like, nah, we're the government. We're here to take Prime. Do us what you want, we'll kill you. Like, whatever. Prime busts out of the dirt and blasts all these friggin' people. So, because earlier in the series, in like the first two, Prime wasn't too keen on. Actually, he loved the humans and he wanted to make sure they stayed safe. He wanted to preserve human life. It's the whole main conflict in the first movie. Like, no, they should have a right. Like, Megatron was like, we should rule them, and like, no. And Optimus now, seeing what the humans have done, despite all that he's done for them, like how quickly they turned on him in the last movie, how quickly they were willing to just exile them from the planet, and also how quickly they decided to just kill them all, is like, oh, like, screw it, man. Like, if these people are threatening the people that tried to help me, I'm gonna kill them all. Like, the attitude he has to Decepticons and the attitude he has to the humans. Oh, the attitude he had to the Decepticons and the attitude he has to the humans is now the same, one and the same. He can absolutely, just doesn't give a fuck anymore. If they pose a threat to him and those he holds dear, he's gonna kill them all now. Because his morals of, in the past wanting to preserve human life isn't working out. It's actually costing him now, so he has to fight on their level. Him, Cade, and the family escape. So yeah, they get away, and in this version, once they escape, they encounter his daughter's boyfriend. For real, his daughter's 18 now. Let's just make the daughter 18, because no, or better yet, if making her 18 isn't an option, you really want this chick, just make the dude younger. Make him younger than 18 but older than 16, so it makes sense, so he can drive or whatever. Yeah, have that. Have the relationship be copacetic and have it just be a normal, just a typical thing. Like, I don't trust this random guy I've never met to suddenly be chilled with my daughter. Like, what does this kid know? Instead of this icky thing of like a grown man and this minor. Just, I don't need to draw attention to the fact there's a law out there that allows grown men to be with, people that aren't adults. It doesn't jive with me. I don't need. Why is this in this franchise? It doesn't need to be here, so it's gone. After Cade and Optimus escape, it's revealed that the humans are working with this Transformer bounty hunter who's here on a mission to get Optimus Prime. But they found out that, Optimus is hiding here on Earth. Like the same thing. Your creators are looking for you. They want you back. Like, they sent me to come get you. That's the premise. And I don't know what you're thinking, like, okay, all this is going on. Where's Megatron? Aren't him and Optimus allies? He said, well, yeah, they're allies, but at the end of the third movie, Megatron pieced out. He's like, I'm done destroying. I'm going to try creating something. Like, I'm going to go back to Cybertron and see if I can't, like, fix what I fucked up. That's basically what he's doing. It's like, see if I can't, do something. Because we were able to bring Cybertron here, and we managed to restore some of it. So we're going to go back and see if we can't restore, like, the rest of it. So, yeah. That's where he is at the moment. And then, when Cade and Prime are having this, like, moment where they're sitting there talking to each other. Prime's gotten his new form. He's contacted the remaining Autobots, Bumblebee, and the big one voiced by John Goodman, the one voiced by... It's not Hiroyuki Sanada, I know that much. But damn, would it be cool if he was there. It was voiced by... I can't remember his name, but Let Them Fight. That guy, he was from Godzilla. It was voiced by him. The Japanese one, like, yeah, so bring them there, and they're all in there, and they're just regrouping, like, what's the plan, Prime? The plan is this. We're gonna find, like, find out what's going on, like, who's behind this, and, we're gonna get justice for all our fallen comrades. We're gonna, like, take them down. That's the idea. That's the plan. Like, we're gonna find out who's doing this, who's behind this, who's trying to wipe us out, and we're gonna stop them before they succeed in their mission. So, along the way, en route to the mission, they have this. They talk with each other. It's like Cade and Mark Wahlberg's character and Optimus have this heart-to-heart talk, where like, they're just talking, like, man, like, I know you and your people have had it rough, but, like, you can't quit on us, man. Like, this, like, Prime is just so beaten down by all this. Like, just, man, like, this comes later in the film. It's better if this comes later, after they've gotten the ship, like, they've escaped from behind. So they have this moment. It was like, man, I don't know how much of this I can take anymore. Like, I've lost so many comrades fighting for the humans. Like, I have suffered so much loss. I've had to watch people I care about die gruesomely. So much fighting, so much destruction for the sake of humanity, and now humanity is turning on us? No. Like, I'm done, man. I don't want to do this anymore. It's just, I'm not gonna sacrifice any more of my people for your people. That's it. Like, once we find out what's going on and I make sure my people were safe, we're out. We're peacing out. Like, we're done with this place. There's no reason for us to stick around. And Cade tells him, like, that line in the trailer, like, you don't have to trust what we are. Like, trust what we could be. We have that potential. We have this expression, I'm only human. Like, we say it whenever we mess up. We're only human. We're still young. We're still learning. We're just people. But we can learn. We can grow. We can change. Like, we just need somebody to show us the way, man. You can be that somebody. Yeah, that's the human element in the film. That's the human element in the film. He essentially spurs Optimus Prime back into action. Instead of just bailing out and quitting, it's like, all right, we're gonna stay in the fight, whatever. The bounty hunter shows up while they're like on their way to the KSI place, and then bam, gets Optimus Prime, knocks him right down while he's fighting with Galvatron. Over the course of while he's fighting with Galvatron, and there's something eerie similar about this fight. It's like when they do fight, you have like the people over at KSI, they're piloting remotely, but he takes back control and he starts putting a whooping on, Prime. Because while they're controlling him, Prime is able to outmaneuver and do some damage and like pound on him. But once the control is wrestled by them by some unknown entity, he's able to fight back and hold his own against Prime. And Prime notices something very familiar. It's like he knows all my moves. Like he knows how I'm gonna combat this, and it's weird. It's like I've fought this dude before, but I just met him. Who the hell is this? And the body is different, the face is different, but it's a familiar foe from the previous film. So they fight, and once again, bam! The alien bounty hunter shows up, and at this point, the TRF, it's revealed like the TRF people are working with this dude to take down Prime and get a seed that will help them create the transformer material, transformium, to help them make their own transformers. The bounty hunter takes Prime. They take off. The other Autobots manage to sneak on the ship, along with Cade and them. And Galvatron is recalled back to KSI so he can find out what the hell went wrong. So, on the ship, the story is essentially the same. Cade and the dude, Lucky Charms, Cade and Lucky Charms, they go around the ship trying to find Tessa because she got roped in and all this. And the other Autobots are on the search for Optimus Prime. And instead, like, while they're looking, they come across, like, they're looking for places. Okay, where could he be? And there's a scene in The Incredibles where Miss Incredible is looking for where Bob could be, and she looks at what cells are using the most power, and she finds the one cell that's using the most power, and she's like, that's it. That's where Mr. Incredible has to be, because he's freakishly strong. You need a lot of power to keep him in place. That's where it gotta be. So they do something similar. They access the ship's like files, and they find like, okay, where's the strongest cage they could put here? Because that's probably where he'd put him. They go looking around, and they see the dinobots in there, and in one of the cages, not the main cage, but in one of the cages, heavily locked up, like the strongest cage, not the biggest cage because that's got like dynamites in it, but like the strongest cage. It isn't Prime, it's Megatron. He's the one in there. Like he looks up and sees them, and it's like, oh, like y'all see me like this. I mean, I got he wouldn't want to be seen like this. He wouldn't want to be seen all locked up and like at the mercy of his captor or whatever. And they're looking at him like, how the hell did you get here? Like, what are you doing here? What happened? And he tells them the story like he was on the way back to Cybertron. Like he made it there, and then he, in his quest to like attempt to repair the planet, reactivated something, and this dude woke up. Like he was in stasis, and he was reactivated by something in Cybertron itself. And it turns out this guy is a bounty hunter who's, activated by like a mysterious force behind the scenes. Later in the last night, it's revealed like Quintessa and whatnot, but that doesn't get revealed here. That's set up for that. Like someone on Cybertron woke this dude up and he sicked him on us. Like we tried to get away, but we fought. Like we tried to fight, man. I was putting in work and I got it, man. I had him on the ropes, but like he was able to like get me somehow. So he was able to turn it around on him, and he trusts him up in this cage. Now Megatron's a bit of a badass. He busts out first time around, tries to get him, but jumped again, locks him up in a badder cage, like a bigger freaking more like reinforced cage. And like that's how I ended up here. Like this guy's bad news, man. This guy is on a mission to get Prime and kill anybody in his way. This guy's bad. I fought him and he pieced me up real good, man. Like in the second time around, like he pieced me up real good. He killed most of the Decepticons. This dude's bad, dude. We gotta get out of here. And he tells them the whole plan, like they want to use this seed on Earth. This is not gonna do what the humans think it will. He's gonna betray them. He's gonna do this. It's gonna blow up big time and transform a large chunk of the planet into Cybertron. Since the plan to like bring Cybertron to Earth failed, they're gonna make Cybertron Earth. That's the plan of the main bad guys. They get him out of there. They find Prime, and they hop on a little ship with Cade, his daughter, and Lucky Charms, and they go back to Earth. We have that scene of the ship crashing and Mark Wahlberg cracking open a can of Bud Light on dude's car. Yeah. Go on into the third act. They get to KSI and they are furious, man. You said you human. And Megatron is like, come on, Prime, let's get this dude. We can't be playing the way you did it. Like, man, the way you did things back in the day, like, it was honorable as hell. I'll admit it. But damn if it didn't get us freaking killed. Like, it got us almost killed on several occasions. We both died, man. We both died because of you being honorable and stuff. So, I mean, we gotta do this my way now. We're gonna roll up in there, we're gonna blast them all, and screw this place. We're out. We don't need to be here anymore. And surely you would think this is the part where like Prime would be like, nah, man, we need to be better. We can't be like that. This ain't right. Like I've learned the error of the ways, but like Prime is still somewhat jaded by all this. Dude is like, you know what, man? Like we've given so much for these people. We've fought, we've bled, we've killed each other. And all they've given us is grief. Like we're going in there. We're gonna take, all the knowledge that they've stolen from us. We're gonna get back, our fallen comrades and so on. We're gonna stop their ability to make. We're gonna take away their ability to make more Transformers, and then we're just gonna leave. All right, we're done with this place. But the what about the seed? The seed. It's like. And it's like, come on. And Megatron is trying to tell him, dude, like, come on, man. We don't gotta be here. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about these people. Like, we got a home back there in Cybertron that needs saving. Something like this, the big bad is fucking coming, and we need to go up there and stop them. Like, this place doesn't matter anymore. And it's at this moment that Prime, it's like, perhaps you're right, dude. It isn't until later on when they get to the KSI place and they're wrecking shop that Galvatron and Prime meet once more, and it is revealed that Galvatron isn't Megatron in this one. He's Sentinel Prime. He's Sentinel Prime reincarnated, and he's working with the main villains. He's like, yeah, I know the plan. I know what's going on. This was a safeguard that was created like eons ago in the event such and such happened, and we needed a new planet to officially call home. This planet is gonna be wiped out wholesale. That first seed is just the start of it. There's more coming, and it's gonna be ugly. These humans that he just goes full General Zod at the end. Like my whole reason for doing this was to save Cybertron, and you stole that from me for the sake of these people. You gave up your own people for these people, and now I'm gonna take these people from you. Like, this world that you fought so hard to save will be lost. These people that you fought so hard to save are gonna die, and it's all on you. And that, during the fight, Sentinel actually manages to whoop Optimus Prime. Once again, as it seems like Prime is on the ropes, he's absolutely defeated. Megatron for the save, man. And he comes in blasting, he's blasting all kinds of ass like, man, I killed you once, I'll kill you a second time. You get the fuck out of here. Blasting and blasting, and Sentinel has to retreat, realizing that he himself can't, take on these two badasses. So he hacks the rest of the KSI robots to come to life. The Bumblebee knockoff, all the other ones, and they have this big climactic, not a climactic, but they have this big battle in KSI. They're wrecking everything. They're being tossed into buildings, train cars, like cops showing up on the scene, getting smashed to bits. Stuff's blowing up everywhere. Bombs going off. This ain't the third act finale. This is the fight before that, and it's ultimately they find themselves overpowered, like overpowered because they're massively outnumbered. In a way, they have, the humans have managed to make a bunch of transformers of their own phony transformers with the transforming they have, and Megatron is like, come on Prime, like we gotta go, like there's no reason for us to keep being here, man, like we gotta peace out, we're gonna die if we stay here. It's like this planet is doomed. Even if we wanted to, there's no way to. And like Prime is in this like despair. Once they get somewhere safely up in the hills, he's almost in this pit of despair. Like, damn man, like just I failed again. Like I failed. I failed your people. I failed my people. I failed Cybertron, and like now it doesn't matter what we do. Like we're gonna like the human. I'm like fail the humans that try so hard to save. This isn't right. Like going down this path has led me nothing but pain. Now it's just it's too late now. Like I've realized too late that, like what the right thing to do was. It's like we couldn't stop this if we wanted to. We need like, but then Megatron's like, no, we can stop this. Like we just need some reinforcements. And he recalls on the ship that they floated in, like there wasn't just him all locked up. Them dinobots was there too. And we get that moment of like Prime fighting the big, T-Rex dinosaur, knocks it on one punch, and essentially this fight is Prime getting his groove back, essentially. Like Neo in Matrix Resurrections, where he's getting beat up by Morpheus and trying to fight back. It's like that. Initially, there's moments where Prime is getting all scratched up, he's kind of getting turned around, almost just taking the abuse. And finally, in that last moment when it's charging at him, he gets off like, "Rah!" And he decks the thing in one glorious punch. Pulls his sword, holds it to his throat, and it's like you wanna follow my lead, or else, like I'll kill you right now. I give you either choose freedom or extinction. Pick right now. And that moment of like the Autobots had, like, you just want to die for the guy, like that's leadership or brainwashing or something. You have Megatron and them looking on saying like, same thing, like that's leadership, and Megatron comes in like, that's Prime, he's back now, like he's back to his old self. And we're like, they got some killing to do. Like Megatron and Prime are teaming up as they go into the third act, and it's gonna be good. Now at this point, you may be asking, but what about Cade and his family and them? What are they doing during all this stuff? It's been pretty Autobot centric. Yes, because a major flaw of this franchise is that it tends to focus a bit too much on the humans. That's why I try to minimize them as much as possible. But yeah, in this one, they do have a central role to this. They're not just, traveling from place to place, being yeeted wherever the plot leads them to. Cade and his daughter and Lucky Charms end up working with the head of KSI, played by Stanley Tucci, once he catches on that, oh hey, this thing, this seed that we're trying to get is dangerous. It could kill everybody if in the wrong hands. Like he finds out what they mean to do. Like initially the plan was, we're just gonna drop it in the middle of a desert and it's gonna, safely detonate there. But the bounty hunter returns and uses like his signal to arm it before they can get anywhere somewhere clear. Like it is armed, it is ticking, it is gonna like go off. Like it's gonna go off if they don't get rid of it somehow. And now they're frantically trying to get the hell out of Dodge, like somewhere out of, like far out from China. It's like, this thing is gonna blow, we need to get it out of here ASAP. So meanwhile, while all this is happening, the KSI robots, led by Galvatron, aka Sentinel, are attacking Prime and his troops, and there's this huge battle going on through the streets of Hong Kong. They fighting through cities, knocking each other through buildings, blasting and sword slashing, body parts flying everywhere. Prime and Megatron are cutting a path through this horde with the Dinobots, breathing fire, picking enemies off the ground, dropping them from great heights, charging through. All kinds of craziness is going on here. And it is an epic showdown for the ages. They are cutting their way through the KSI robots led by Galvatron. However, the robots have the ability to, as it in the movie, disassemble themselves into like these nanomite types and reassemble themselves. So the damage they're doing, as devastating as it is, sure, okay, it's significant, but in a minute or two, the things they destroyed will just reattach themselves. And it's like, this is pointless. We do all this damage to them, they'll just put themselves back together. But like, if they do damage to us, it stays. We're gonna wind up being overpowered and defeated if this continues, which then leads to Cade going to work with the dude from KSI at the KSI Center to try and regain control of the robots somehow. They realize, okay, we can't do that. We can limit them in some way. We can shut off their ability to like split up into pieces. They have to stay in one piece now, which means they can be destroyed. And this in turn helps turn the tide. The humans actually help with the story and further, like, keep the story moving forward for the cause. The human antagonists are here too, so Cade and Lucky Charms have someone to fight. So yeah, the main villain gives his speech. The main human villain gives his speech about there are no good or bad robots. There's just us and them, and that's our whole stick. We are gonna protect the human race. It's us and them. They all need to go. Only us will stay. That's how it is. And Cade tries to like explain it to him. No, it's not. There's good in these Autobots, like Prime and them. They could have left. They could have left once they got this ship. They could have just let us die all those years ago, during Transformers 1 when the Decepticons initially invaded, but they chose to stay. There is good in all of them. Yeah, there is bad, but there's also the capacity for good. Just look at Megatron. He used to be evil, he used to be all these things, but now he's out there trying to help us. He's fighting alongside Prime to save Earth. Like, if he can change, we can change. Like, it's never too late. That's that message. Like, if Megatron, after all that he's done, can change and learn to grow and be a better being, then surely the humans can too. We are not irredeemable. So yeah, they fight and they overcome. They actually manage to overcome pretty well, leading to Sentinel fleeing because like he can see like the tide's not turning well in his favor. He's like injured and he manages to sneak away and all this. But before they can properly give chase, the bounty hunter comes back with his giant magnet ship, lifting them off the ground, dropping them, lifting out a whole bunch of other stuff, dropping it on them, trying to just wipe them out from space, or essentially pick them up from space, from not space, but like the airspace above China, basically doing. He's causing all kinds of decimation and destruction like he did in the movie, picking up boats, cars, planes, everything, drawn in the magnet. So they come up with a plan to grab the shield. Not shield, the egg. It's like, it's ticking really loud, it's gonna detonate anytime. So they grab the seed, the seed, and they throw that into a metal structure, and they fling that metal structure. Prime and Megatron work together to chuck that structure into the like vortex that's lifting everything up. It goes up, blows a huge chunk of the guy's ship up. Ship crash lands into the ocean. They think like, oh man, we're good. We've seen the last of that guy. Like there's surely no way he's coming. But then, like, I don't know, Megatron gets stabbed, like brutally stabbed by this dude, and he's down. He's badly hurt. And, he pulls the gun coming out of his face, blasts Prime, and is like the deal was to get you back alive. I don't need you. Just tosses away Megatron like he's nothing, because this dude's bad news. Killed a whole bunch of Decepticons and everything on the way over here. He's took down the Dinobots single-handedly. He's a bad bounty hunter, man, real bad. So now him and Prime are duking it out one on one, and it's oof, it's bad. Prime's holding his own like he always does, using his like flaming axes and swords and stuff, trying to do damage. But this guy he's coming in completely fresh. Prime's been battling for a while. Plus he's wounded and he's so yeah. Though Prime can hold his own and he's not going down easy, this dude is really putting in work on him. And as he like knocks him down, grabs him by the leg to try and drag him away, expositing about how like your creators want you back, Prime. All that you've done, like everything, all the wrong you've done, and everything, like you're finally gonna pay for it now. Basically, like they're gonna do to you is way worse than anything I could ever do. So as he's taking him back to the ship, Megatron tries to come in for the save to like put him down, and the dude flips it on him, and it's like, and like you like I thought like you'd be a good trophy, but like now you're way more trouble than you're worth, pal. Pulls like his gun face and tries to kill Megatron, but as he's about to, Optimus Prime for the save, man. Music kicks in. He's whooping all the ass just like Megatron did back in the last movie. Like this planet doesn't belong to you. And he kills him. Just straight up snaps his neck, Man of Steel, rips that gun face right off him, and like just absolutely destroys this dude in brutal, savage fashion. When he's done, he turns, walks over to the wounded Megatron and offers him his hand, takes it, and they both like helps him up. They stand like right next to each other, like side by side. It's like, you saved me. Like, yeah, like yes, as you saved me. And it's this good moment between the two. Like that's how I do it. Like Megatron at this point is redeemed. He's not 100% good guy. He's still Megatron under there. He's just using his violent and sadistic tendencies on the side of good now. And Optimus Prime's faith in humanity has been restored as he's seen like the depths, the capability. He's rediscovered the capability for good and thing within not just the Decepticons but the humans themselves. It's like he also sees the thing like, man, if a guy like Megatron can ditch his hatred for me and like help me at the risk of his own life in a similar can do this, like then the humans can do the same, then hell, man, maybe there's something worth fighting for here after all. And he basically tells Megatron, like, you were right. This staying here and fighting on this planet is only going to make it risky for all the people involved. If we really want to, make some change and keep these people safe, we need to take the battle to them. Like, you're wounded, you can't go, but like, man, you stay here and you run things and you keep them safe, all right? You stay here. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to find out what's going on, get some answers. And, he basically leaves him in charge of the Autobots while he goes on to get some answers on who's coming, what was it that came down from Cybertron. And, like, just, there's a trust between the two now. So, yeah. That's that. The movie ends on the high note of, like, the dude who runs KSI saying, like, hey, they're basically talking like Cade and his daughter, like, we lost our house during all this. And he's like, I can help you with that. Like, he's going to do something to give them a hand. Despite all he's done, he's going to try to make amends now. Going to, all the damage that he's caused, he's going to do his best to fix. His company is going to work towards that. The film ends with Prime flying off into space, same way as he did, leave planet Earth alone. Leave planet Earth alone. He's sending a message to his creators. He's like, because now I'm coming for you. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen. That is how I would have liked to fix Transformers Age of Extinction. There have been some major swings, some minor swings, some good things that stayed, some bad things that had to go that definitely went, and some changes to the narrative. But like ultimately, yeah, it leaves the story open-ended in a way, as Megatron is still on Earth, in place of Prime, and Prime is heading off into space to try and confront the creators and find out what it is about them that what it is that they want with him. It's like, oh, you want me? Like, well, guess what? You're gonna get me. I'm coming to get you. So yeah, that's that. And well, I think it's a great way to segue into Transformers: The Last Night. It gives the story a new starting point, and from that point on, you can kind of do whatever instead of doing what they went down with. But yeah, this has been Movies I'd Love to Fix. I've been your host. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And Autobots, transform and roll out.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.